Someone is coming back to Elm Street. He is not friendly. He is not patient.
Kill for me!
And he is not a welcome visitor.
No!
But he has something terribly special for the new kid on the block.
It started to happen again.
Dad! You've had some scary dreams, okay? Help! Daddy can't help you now.
There's something inside him.
Fight him! You are not afraid of him. He doesn't even exist.
Freddy Krueger is back on Elm Street.
Get out of here, Lisa!
Jesse, fight him!
Watch out for him. He'll be in your neighborhood soon. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 2.
My children now.
Freddy's Revenge.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Welcome back.
Hi, listeners. You're here for another great episode. My name is Pete.
And I'm Scott.
And these are the movies that made us gay. Yay!
Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, in case you weren't quite sure, this episode, this is the gay one.
This episode's pretty bananas, and this movie is insane.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy movie. Scott, do you want to talk a little bit about what we're doing today?
Oh, man.
And who we've got with us?
Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, with our friend Bryn Thomas.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is a movie that when I would tell people about our podcast idea, Movies That Made Us Gay, everyone that usually knew what was up would be like, well, you're obviously going to do Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
And yeah, I knew, Bren, that you would be a good guest, and you wanted to do this. So I just figured, hell, we'll do this the first year that we're, recording this podcast. We'll get it right out of the way. So yeah, it's yours.
Well, thanks for having me.
Good to have you.
What can we say about how crazy gay this movie is that hasn't already been?
Oh, yeah. There's no, we're not, onto something completely new of the gay subtext of this movie. Because it's pretty out there.
Yeah, for sure. But, okay, so, Bryn, when did you first see this movie?
I saw it in the theater.
It's on the theater. Awesome.
I did.
Oh, I love that.
I did. What did you think of it when you first saw it?
It was scary. I just remember, being turned on by the ass scenes. And, it was weird when I was little, the PE teacher scene kind of freaked me out a little. I didn't get it. I didn't grasp the whole S&M thing of it.
Sure.
But, and plus, he's just old and,
Yeah.
to a kid. I was like, show me more Grady.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I'm assuming that both of you guys grew up on Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Did you want to talk about just sort of being first introduced to Nightmare on Elm Street when you were a kid? It
was super intense because Freddy, it was just a weird experience to laugh and be scared at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what, Nightmare on Elm Street did for me. Because it crossed so many weird supernaturalnesses. I know, I just made that word up. But, because it's like a slasher film.
Yeah.
But it's also supernatural, semi-demonic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it also has, with him being a kid fucker, it kind of has like a real life horror to it as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was just, a lot to take in as a kid, and it just was weird to feel like, why am I laughing with this killer? Why am I kind of rooting for the killer?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Freddy just had a huge moment in the 80s. That he was everywhere.
Yeah, I just remember a lot of the kids in my school that loved, Freddy were like, the metalhead kids, and like the rocker kids, the bad boys. And it kind of made sense, especially a lot. This, with the exception of this soundtrack, most of the soundtracks have been metal or rock.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The soundtrack was a little bit more new wave.
So, Pete, when was your first introduction to Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare movies? just to kind of get like some scope of where our relationship with this character in these movies.
My introduction to Freddy and the Nightmare movies was not in the theater, but I did see them at home. I think we taped them off of cable.
Classic.
Yeah, and my cousins and I at my dad's house would watch Nightmare 1, and it was so scary. Like, I was genuinely scared shitless. And I do remember that we would try to do these things to, like, make it not be as scary. Like, I remember my sister saying, like, you know, the only reason it's scary is because the music is so, like, creepy, you know, and it's all that, like, minor key, like, dun, 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 dun. You know, and there's scenes of, like, Nancy walking down the sidewalk in, like, her pajamas, and it's got this scary song, and we would turn the volume down and just be like, see, now she's just walking down the street in the middle of the night in her pajamas, and it's not even scary, you know, just to, like, talk ourselves out of, like, how freaked out we were. And I remember when this one came out, watching it at home with my dad and my uncle, and I kind of remember them kind of chuckling about it and kind of having knowing looks at each other like, what, this movie's weird, and me and my cousins just being like, yeah, like Freddy Part 2, like here's another one, fuck yes. But again, yeah, I didn't think or get any sort of undertones or gayness at the time. I'm just a kid watching it, kind of being scared at Freddy and all of that. But then, yeah, later on, just really kind of, I guess I didn't really rewatch it until I was an adult and had heard about, hey, by the way, this movie seriously is secretly super homo.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, there's a lot of weird shit going on. But yeah, I had been watching it since I was like 7 or 8 years old. No business watching Freddy movies.
So you didn't realize that our Scream Queen was actually a queen?
I mean, not until I was a grown up.
Not until you got through Princess Hood and became a queen of your own.
Exactly.
So yeah, I never grew up watching these movies.
Yeah.
I always was very familiar with Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
And I would always just look at the boxes when I went to the video store. And that was as far as I think I could have gotten.
Yeah.
I remember just going to the horror section and just looking at all the boxes.
Yeah.
Just sort of memorizing all of the pictures, the synopsis of all of them. But I just felt like I can never watch these movies because they're just too scary. And then I don't think I watched the first Nightmare until college. Until I was probably like 23 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I waited that long.
Wow.
Till like well into college, and I don't think I had seen any of the sequels until I started going out with Pete.
Girl, are you Mennonite?
Yeah, but
yeah, because like you were saying, that Freddy was like a rock star. Like in the
Yes.
80s.
But it was just one of those things that he was just sort of.
It was
always there in pop culture.
Yeah.
You knew who that was.
Yeah.
And I just thought these movies are just way too scary.
too grown up.
I can't watch them.
Sure.
Wow.
So yeah, and then I just sort of began to watch more horror movies in college.
Yeah.
And then I watched the first one, and I loved it. So
they were amazing.
And I didn't watch any of the sequels until we pretty much got the box set.
Yeah.
And now I've seen them all.
I think I don't know if it's my favorite, but the one I would watch the most, I would definitely watch Dream Master and Dream Child. 4 and 5 a lot.
Really?
I don't know why. Don't ask me why, because
I don't know why either.
Dream Warriors is
Dream
probably
Warriors.
the most.
Dream Warriors is the best.
It's
yeah.
the strongest.
It's the best
sequel
of the
them all.
sequels. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
It is almost as good as the first
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
Maybe. I mean, actually, as a kid, I liked it better than the first.
Yes. It's
But
got
as
the
an
return
adult,
of Nancy.
I see the power of the first one. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
And I also remember when New Nightmare came out, it being a big deal.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, New Nightmare was weird.
What are your feelings about New Nightmare?
I meh.
It was when it started to get like.
It's better than Freddy's Dead.
Self-referential.
Which one's? I mean, now I'm going to sound dumb, but which one's the one where they are like the cast, and Freddy starts haunting
That's
the
New
cast.
Nightmare.
That's New Nightmare.
Okay, yeah.
Where it starts getting super meta.
I just have to say bonk. No.
That was Wes Craven's take on like Scream before like
Yeah.
Bonk. Buzzer buzz.
right. Well, I mean, we got to just start talking about this movie.
So yeah, so this movie stars LGBT
Our
icon
gay
Mark
icon.
Patton.
We love you, Mark.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And
As Jesse. Kim Myers as the girl, the not Nancy. What's her character name?
No, he's the Nancy.
Yeah, he's definitely
Yes, he's the Nancy.
I guess literally. But
Yeah. He's the Nancy boy.
no, that's what's interesting about this movie, and a lot of people kind of dismiss quickly.
Yeah.
This is like a boy playing a scream queen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that
Yes.
I'm kind of challenged to think of other movies where that was the gig.
Right.
And he could scream.
He could scream.
He had that Jamie Lee Curtis scream down.
Are you talking about this?
Come on, Natch.
Yeah, so he definitely. Horror movies always come down to there's always the final girl, and they're usually the main protagonist in a horror movie is always female. But this movie just decided not to go that route, and we've got Mark Patton as Jesse, and we're all better for it.
So we should probably say this big bag of crazy is written by somebody named David Chaskin.
Yeah.
And it's very alleged and up in the air who is responsible for all of this.
Well, I think also what's kind of up in the air is kind of like their intention.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I don't think they were out to write a pro-gay movie.
No.
I think they were out to write some understeps, some scary shit. People are back then. AIDS was on the horizon.
Yeah.
You didn't think gay without AIDS
Right,
immediately,
for sure.
And I think that come on. I think that they were trying to bring in that whole like real life fear and fear of homosexuality, fear of disease, and combine that with supernatural fear.
Yeah.
And it's kind of. I don't know that they really succeeded in that, but
No.
but still, I wish they would have just made a gay horror movie, and it would have been better, and I think everyone would have been freer.
Mm-hmm.
But we got what we got, and I still love it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like we were saying, as far as how good the sequels are, it's as far as the sequels go in order of how good they are, it's not that high on the list. But I mean,
It's not the lowest either.
it's
though?
not the lowest either. If we just take it as what it is, a Freddy movie, a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, there are some problems that go beyond the weird kind of questionable gay undertones. And those problems being Freddy showing up in the real world,
Yeah, but wasn't there ones in the other ones where you could bring him to the world?
Nancy had a specific power that none of the other, only a few other characters in the franchise had, which was in a dream, she could pull something out of it.
Okay.
And Kristen, which is played by Patricia Arquette, and
Later
Tuesday night, Kristen's power was that she could bring her friends into her own dream.
Okay.
I remember
But
in the first movie, it's set up that if Nancy was fighting with Freddy in a dream, if she was holding on to something, if she woke up at that moment, she pulled his hat out of the dream into the real world.
But that's how they killed him.
Yeah, by pulling him out. Yeah, but in this movie, it's so
He
weird.
kinda can kinda go.
Yeah,
The rules are
rules are
very
crazy.
are very shaky in this one.
And the rules are kind of weird to begin with in all the Nightmare movies. They're kind of kooky and they kind of suit the plot. But I feel like after part 3, they really set up this canon and the idea is that that this power to pull people into the dream was Kristen's and that she gave it to Alice later on in part 4 and all that nonsense. But as far as just a Nightmare on Elm Street movie and a good sequel, it's a little kooky. It's a little all over the board. Springwood, the town that Elm Street is set in, is supposed to be in Ohio. This is clearly Southern California. They're not even trying to make it look like a Midwest town.
The outdoor lockers.
Yeah. This whole high school is bungalows. Like that doesn't make sense.
And convertibles.
Yeah, convertibles at pools in the backyard. But I guess in 1987, what did we say?
This would have been shot in 85.
So, at that
So
time...
this was also a pretty rushed sequel. 'Cause
Yes.
Nightmare came out,
Yeah,
what?
84.
84?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, within a year, they had this movie shot.
Well, it was pretty successful, I guess, and Freddy...
It was so rushed that they actually. I may be a little wrong on this one, but hear me out anyway.
Sure.
I think they didn't have all the money from the first one recuperated yet,
Oh.
and that's why they didn't have much budget for this.
Yeah.
So they were not gonna have Freddy in this movie because they couldn't afford him.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, because Robert Englund also wanted a pay raise.
Yeah,
and
he's
New
like,
Line
I just
didn't wanna do it.
created your life here.
Yeah, yeah.
And finally, they caved and paid for Robert Englund, but that's why there is no other known actors.
Yeah.
That's why they're, I think that's why his makeup doesn't look as good.
I was also reading that they tried to shoot Robert Englund stuff with a double, and it just didn't work.
They were going
Yeah.
to use someone else, and
There's-
it just failed. Failed.
There's a shot that it's not Robert Englund, and he notoriously hates it. It's in the shower scene, and it's just through steam.
And
And the
it's
guy
enough to
walks
piss him off.
through, and you can't. When you know that it's a double, you look at it, and it's not. Because Robert Englund's physicality as Freddy, he really, like this role, the thing about Michael Myers, Jason, those roles are kind of, granted, they're wearing masks. They're literally wearing masks. So it could be interchangeable. But
It's so attached to Robert Englund, the person.
yes. And but it's not just his voice or his face. It's everything. His physicality of being
He
Freddy.
embodies this character.
He embodies it. And you listeners, look for this scene when it's in the shower scene. The gym teacher is strung up, all naked, and it cuts to Jesse, and he's standing there, and then the shower gets filled with steam, and Freddy walks out of the steam, and it's all in one shot. And the person that walks out, it's not Robert Englund. And he's just kind of like shuffling out. Robert Englund has a walk. He's got a pose.
Yeah.
Swagger.
The gloved hand that knee is cocked back. And he says Robert Englund's thing is that the glove is heavy. It's a tool that he made out of materials. And so his arm is down a little bit more. And it's a specific choice. And this person is not doing it and just kind of like shuffling out of the room. When you watch it back, it's very apparent when you know that it's not him. And I'm not sure why I forgot that was in Never Sleep Again.
Well,
Yeah.
fuck that scene.
Yeah. There is a really comprehensive documentary about the entire making of all of the movies called Never Sleep Again.
I meant to watch it before this recording. I never got around to it because it's like 6 hours long.
It is. It's
Never.
Yeah, it's 5.5
Sleep
hours
again.
long. It's crazy. Yeah, you won't sleep again when you watch it because it lasts an entire week. But so okay.
So we're first introduced to Jesse in this dream of him getting on the school bus.
So in the first dream where Jesse's on the bus and it like rides off into the deserts of Ohio or the desert behind Springwood, Jesse looks very nerdy. He doesn't look like himself. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
He looks like he's about to be institutionalized. Like
Yes.
it's like greasy down, slicked
Yeah.
hair.
His hair's all
He's
greasy.
almost like hunched over too.
He's hunched
And
over.
notice that he can't speak. He
No.
lets out one little
Yeah.
squeak, and that's toward the end of the scene.
Yeah.
But he can't. He's that immobile. I guess they're trying to symbolize how he feels inside.
Sure.
Blah blah.
But I feel like
But-
if you... Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm
yeah,
with
I was
you. Go
gonna
ahead.
say I feel like if you were not familiar or you're watching this for the first time, you just woke up from a coma and you're like, oh, a new Freddy movie finally, and you watched it. It's the first scene of the movie. He doesn't have any lines. You wouldn't even know that it's about him. I feel like
I kind of thought it was superfluous.
you
the whole,
might.
yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah.
whole thing.
You might think it's about those two girls that are just screaming on the bus.
That are
the
actually
entire-
active
Yeah.
and entertaining to something. I
Yeah.
mean, and then you see this crazy, slick down nerd.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see pretty queen with feathered hair.
Oh my goodness. This is the first of many, many shots in the movie where he wakes up drenched in sweat.
Yeah.
They spray him down with the hose before he gets into this bed. And he just sleeps in a pair of tidy whities, which I'm not mad at.
Well, I think they're a little loose.
They're not quite that tight.
they're
just
definitely
whiteys.
not offering any support.
No, not at all. But yeah, there are several shots of this movie where he wakes up from a dream in a sweat. But that leads me to this weird convention that this movie has with like Freddy and like heat. The room and the rooms are always really, really hot. The temperature rises.
There's
when
something
Freddy's
up
around.
with the thermostat in the house. And we
I
should
don't
also
think it's
probably say that Jesse lives in Nancy's old house from the first movie.
Yeah, which is not even a murder house. Oh well, I guess the mom dies.
Kinda.
Yeah,
but that kind of goes with the kind of in the nightmare mythology of what they do with Nancy's house.
it becomes Freddy's like lair
Yeah.
Or Freddy's point of contact.
entry. Yeah, yeah.
Point of entry. Point of contact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
But I don't think in this movie it's not the thermostat. I think in this movie it's like Freddy's presence creates heat because at the party all the hot dogs explode and the pool boils.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're trying to imply,
Yeah.
obviously. I mean, hell,
He's
Freddy,
from hell.
devil.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
boiler room.
They're making it a little more satanic. Yeah, the boiler room. Heat, like he's burned.
Well, didn't he? Never mind. I think I might be wrong about this. Didn't he burn some of the kids too? To try to hide them?
Maybe. Okay, so this brings me to another point of just like the idea of Freddy as a person in the mythology of the movie, right? Freddy, at some point, I would imagine in the 70s, was, I don't know, a janitor or something, but he was a child killer in Springwood.
Child fucker and
They
child
refer to him
killer.
in the
Yes.
first movie as a child killer.
They're very specific in the original movies never to say that he fucked any of the kids.
Well, they insinuate the
Yes,
shit out of
they
it,
do.
though.
They do.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's like off the page, but
Kind
you're
of
really just
blatant subtext.
yeah, he's not just going to kill these kids.
Now I
He's
need to
fucking-
watch part 1 again so we can
Yeah.
see how they handle it.
Yes.
I mean, I remember knowing as a child that those kids were getting molested.
Oh, for sure.
And, you know, as a kid, I understood.
Yeah. So then the parents of Springwood figure it out, and then they form like this lynch mob, and they kill him by like
Burning
him up, and he dies in the fire.
I should probably mention that Nancy's mom is probably one of my all-time favorite characters in movie
Oh
history.
my God, Nancy's mom.
I
is-
fucking love that woman
Yeah.
who plays that role.
Ronnie Blakely is amazing, and the character of the Marge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked her dad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's awesome.
Surprise. But
No, but my question is this: in the first movie and in this movie, Freddy's glove, the murder weapon of all of the Springfield slasher that killed all these kids, ends up in Nancy's parents' basement in their furnace. Did Nancy have like a dead sibling? Why did they get to keep? Why did Nancy's parents?
Yeah.
Why were they involved in the murder, in the lynching of Freddy?
because her
Nancy's
dad was a cop.
dad was a cop.
'Cause
So
her
he
mom-
rounded up the lynch mob?
No,
Yeah.
yeah, he let them do it.
That's
why
crazy.
he felt guilty.
I didn't think of that.
He
That-
let the lynch mob happen,
Yeah.
and then he became a part of it. And Nancy's mom was a part of it.
So
they all
then
were a part of
okay.
it.
Because they didn't. So Nancy's
He's
parents
hiding
didn't have
evidence.
A kid.
He's
He's
hiding
hiding the evidence. That is like, oh my God, we think we figured it out.
I win.
We
I win.
cracked the case. I always wondered. I was like, did she have a sister or something that was murdered by Freddy? But no, the dad was as a cop. I
Yeah.
love it. Breaking lids right off. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Okay. So Jesse finds the glove in this weird, this crazy furnace in this house. Who I don't know what kind of. This is like a Home Alone furnace. That is like
Yeah.
underneath
This
this
is like
house.
like a 50s furnace in an 80s home.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's this headshot at the beginning of the stairs that we're just watching this movie and being like, who the fuck is this?
Can anyone
Is
tell
this
us?
person
Yeah.
on the wall? If anyone knows who this headshot of this woman is, right when Jesse
If you've
walks
got-
out,
if you've
and
got, like,
goes down the stairs.
If you've got an 8K TV, like zoom in on that shit.
It kind of looks like the girl neighbor,
Lisa.
Yeah, it kinda looks like
Miss
Lisa.
Lisa, kinda, or maybe it's his mom.
I thought it was Phyllis
because
Diller.
when we were watching it, you're right.
up,
Like
Bree.
it's so prominent that it has to be something.
Yeah.
No, it's meant to be there for a reason.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe we need to be on the internets looking it up.
I mean, if we want to talk about just subtle little things in the background, we need to get to Jesse's bedroom.
Yeah. And then we need to get to
should I start
Ron's
singing the song?
bedroom.
Hold me, baby, drive me crazy, touch me all night long.
See, now Kathy Dennis did cover that song.
Yes, but it
she
wasn't
covered
Miss
it.
Dennis.
But no, this was
was
somebody
years
else.
before her.
Yeah, I Shazammed that song, and it was I had never heard of this woman, Fonda Ray.
I feel like that sounds familiar.
Yeah,
But
Fonda.
like freestyle music
yeah,
was
yeah.
a thing.
It was
big thing then.
definitely freestyle for sure.
And this is the scene where he's cleaning up his room
Oh,
because
yeah. He's
his
doing the
dad
dance.
is like, "You gotta go clean up your room."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay," and he stomps up the stairs.
His
And
dad has threatened it a couple of times now.
Oh my God, the dad is
Yeah.
like not having this bedroom full of boxes. The rest of the house is pretty set. So let's say they had enough time for that mom to like put everything away.
They've been there for a good few months.
And Jesse's room is still full of boxes. I would have been yelling at him too.
Jesse really does need to clean up.
Young
that room.
man,
What a worthless child.
I don't want to see that box of probe just sitting on
Yeah.
the floor.
Your jock itch
Your jogging spray.
and your Adidas.
And he does his little dance,
Oh,
doing his
yes,
little
that little
shimmy.
dance.
which you know that people always come up to Mark Patton and do that dance at like cons.
They
Oh,
bump their
God,
ass
yeah.
up against him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bumping the ass to close the drawer. Oh my God.
What's like his popper thing that he's releasing?
It's just
Oh,
one
that-
of those
that was one of those
wooden-
toys.
Yeah, it's just a
Oh,
little wooden
okay.
toy.
But it popped right at the right time.
Oh yeah,
And his little butt closes the drawer.
Oh.
that's how I close my drawer. I don't know.
I bet it's
That's
closed.
weird.
I bet it's closed a few drawers.
Heyo.
Just kidding.
I meant to say earlier in my introduction, but I was reading of the other actors that either read or were considered for Jesse.
Sure.
So New Line wanted Michael J. Fox, but they couldn't.
Oh,
They couldn't
okay.
fit it into
All
his
right.
busy 1985 schedule because that's
All
the year
right.
that he did both Teen Wolf and Back to the Future.
How could they have afforded him?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
never would have worked.
So I don't think Michael J. Fox ever would have.
He would have
accepted this.
I think
role,
Michael J. would have
too.
saw that gay subtext and said, "Oh no, not Alex P. Keaton."
yeah, no,
No, ma'am.
way.
And then other actors that I think read for Jesse, Brad Pitt.
Okay.
Could you imagine
all
how
right.
different Brad Pitt's career would have gone if
I'm-
he would have done this movie?
I'm kind of feeling a little tingly thinking about it, but it could have been good for him. I mean, it would have got started him earlier.
Yeah, for sure.
John Stamos and Christian Slater, both
Wow.
considered also.
Okay.
Hey, Freddy. I'm trying to do my Christian Slater impression. I'm failing. Help!
Just do your Jack Nicholson
He kind of has a
impression.
Jack impression.
No, I know, but I'm failing. I'm not even going to try no more.
Yeah,
Just
Christian
pretend
Slater.
it was funny, okay?
Interesting choices.
Yeah, and then they.
John Stamos might have been good, but I think he was a little old at that point. Even
Yeah.
not old, but you know what I mean. A
Well,
little
was he
more-
doing-
He was too much of
Was
a.
he doing
devo-
General Hospital at the time?
No,
Yeah.
that's when, about the same time, he did that awesome movie
Oh my God.
with fucking Vanity and Gene Simmons.
What?
This may be a movie I have to come back for.
Oh my God.
The name of the movie was called shit. Look it up. Look it
I'm
up quick.
looking it up now.
Oh, it's so epic. Stargrove. It was the name of the little theme song.
Is it Deadly Illusion? What is it?
No. Look up Gene Simmons movies.
Oh my God. Vanity was on way too many movies.
Yeah, no, she was being passed around.
Jeez Louise.
But
Gene Simmons was in Runaway with Tom Selleck,
He
right?
sure was.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Gene Simmons plays a hermaphrodite
Oh, yeah.
drag queen
What?
called Dragnar.
Dragnar.
And I'm telling you, this I'm coming back. We're doing this movie together.
Jeez, he's got a lot of credit.
Never Too Young to Die is the name of the movie. I just
God.
thought of it. Never Too
Wow.
Young to Die. A VHS classic.
1986. Velvet von Ragnar. Oh my God.
So, do you know anything about Mark Patton's career before this movie? It's
I-
had kind of an interesting
I don't think he had a whole lot of
start
one
in
afterward,
Hollywood. So he started out as sort of a model, and then he got TV work, and then he went on stage for When He Coming Back to the 5 and Dime, Jimmy Dean with Cher.
but didn't he start out in New York and move to
Yeah.
Hollywood?
Yeah.
That's
So he did that play with Cher. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
And then he did the movie.
well, I know from what I heard and from TV shows and YouTube, he was getting a lot of grief from his management team about being too gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were trying to, you need to butch up. You cannot go here. We do not want to. People will go to the Eagle to see you. They will, they send people out looking for people.
Oh my God.
They will find out you are gay. They will find out
God.
everyone's gay. You cannot go to gay bars. You cannot do this. You cannot. And it was really upsetting to him because here he is, young, blonde, gay, in fucking Los Angeles, probably wanting to live it up.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, my career or I don't get to be who I am.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of led him to stage stuff more so, because I think at that point he was just like, I'm a homo, get into it.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
I think I'm probably a little off on the timings there, but basically I think I got the overshadow of it.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. That's I think that's kind of what I've
Well, and also when this movie came out, I don't think it really helped his career all that much.
I think they thought it was going to be his starter.
Oh,
yeah, for sure.
But if anything, it kind of did not showcase him very well.
Yeah.
Except for he's the best male screamer in a horror movie that I've ever encountered.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that both him and Kim Myers, I don't think are bad actors. I think it's just how they're directed.
I felt like Kim Myers was in other things. I feel like I remember her after that and before that even.
I just remember an episode of 6 Feet Under she did.
Oh.
That's my only reference for Kim Myers.
Yeah.
I feel like she did some like small 80s movies. I mean, I used to live at VHS world. That was like my weekends at Dad's. Dad would go to the movie store and, what do you want to watch? And I'd come back like 10 videos. He'd be like, you can't watch all those. I'm like, yes, I can.
I can watch me.
and Kim Myers strikes me as the type of working actress in the 80s that would have read for like Haviland Morris's role in 16 Candles and probably not gotten the call back.
I could probably believe you. I have a feeling she probably went up against Molly Ringwald and shit back then.
Definitely. Yeah.
Like, she was like a pretty redhead.
Yeah. She was in White Palace with Susan Sarandon. Do you remember White Palace?
I don't think I do remember that, actually. I think she may have actually been a good actress in that
James Spader and Susan Sarandon. That's the one that I remember.
James Spader will bring it out in you.
No, but Scott, I think you're right. I think this movie is kind of lazily directed. Like, there's not really a lot going on visually.
I feel like they were like, kids, do your thing.
Yeah.
And the director, like, he claims that he knew nothing of this gay subtext. He talks about in the documentary Scream Queen, which is a really comprehensive look at the making of this movie.
Yes.
That follows Mark Patton as he kind of tracks down the writer of this movie and kind of questions him of what were your motives when you did this movie.
You kind of felt like it was like the real fucking, for better terminology, kind of like Nazi-ish. She was like chasing him down, almost like, what did you do to me? You did this to me. I mean, I don't know. It kind of felt really...
It was a vendetta. It was very...
It felt like,
It was his Rambo.
He puts him on the spot.
You wronged me as a child.
Yeah. But I mean,
the fact is, he got a great movie handed to him.
Yeah.
It was, the time, and what better movie to be in as a no-name actor than a Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
That's true.
Yeah.
But they mishandled the movie. They didn't know what they were handed. And then once they kind of figured out what they were handed, it looked like they were afraid of what they were handed. So, like, let's butch this Queenie movie up as much as possible.
True.
And what I was saying earlier, the director claims that he didn't know any of the subtext. Even when they talk about shooting at the bar, he just had no idea this was a S&M.
But even Robert
bar.
Englund, I mean, he read the script.
Robert knew.
So he knew. This scene in particular, the way he's like touching Jesse with his like...
Yes.
Come on.
He's coming at him like a leather daddy.
And
matter of fact, does he not say, I'm your daddy now?
He says, your daddy can't help you anymore.
Oh, okay. I could have sworn he said it. Must be my fantasies.
I need you, Jesse.
I need you, Jesse.
We got special work to do here, you and me. You've got the body. I've got the brain.
Yeah.
It's a very intimate scene, too, because they're super close to each
They're
other.
very close.
He's stroking him.
His mouth, he's like got his fingers like on like Jesse's mouth. Like it's super...
It's like they're
intense.
almost going to make out.
Your daddy can't help you now.
Yep. Yeah, because Jesse's calling for his dad, and he says, your daddy can't help. It's like, oh my God. But yeah, it's like he read that scene and was like, okay, I get this.
I think if anyone's going to get it, it would have been Robert.
Yeah. He seems like he knows what the hell's up. So, but there's a lot of dialogue like that in this movie.
Well, that's the whole way he talks to Jesse is totally leather daddy in the corner with a twink.
Yes.
I mean, it's the way he just like bosses him and dominates him.
Yeah. Well, we should say that like in a normal Nightmare movie, he just comes to these kids in their dreams and kills them. individually, one by one. In this movie, he's comes to Jesse and he's like, I need you to do my bidding in the real world.
It's more of a possession.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for some reason, Freddy can't reach the other kids in their dreams. He's possessing Jesse to go and kill them for
It's almost like the screenwriter didn't even watch the first movie.
yes.
And he was just given like a brief synopsis about it.
Yeah.
I kind of think they were told to do their own thing. I almost think
Probably.
there wasn't. I think I saw that online.
Yeah.
I mean, Wes Craven wasn't involved with
Yeah.
this movie. I mean, he
Yeah.
wasn't involved for most of the
I
sequels.
have a feeling Wes Craven would not have appreciated this
Yeah.
movie.
No way.
And I don't know what the circumstances that they didn't get Wes Craven back.
I think he had something else to do because they wanted this so quick.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he probably was like on to project number 2.
Yeah, for
You know.
sure.
Probably wanted higher demands of the budget and the screenplay, and they just had to bust this shit out pretty quick within
Well,
a year.
Yeah, they had that back then. There was no waiting 5 years between movies like they do now.
Yeah.
Attention span's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, Freddy would have not been what he is if they would have done
If they
that.
waited, yeah.
Like he dominated the 80s.
Yeah. There were like I mean, there still are, but there were like kid Halloween costumes of Freddy. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm gonna be a sexy Freddy
Like-
right now.
I love
Well, I
it.
mean, it's kind of like if you had to pick of something in pop culture that's pretty close to that. Like 4 years ago, did anyone give a shit about it? Or just like the
and Pennywise is like
Pennywise
everywhere
it
now.
is everywhere when you go into like a Spirit of Halloween
Oh, of
or a
course.
Party City.
Yeah.
I mean, that's every heterosexual
Yeah.
male's choice of costume. I mean,
Well, what I love though now is that we're in like this postmodern, like so much time has passed. Like seeing like drag Freddy is really funny.
Oh no, I that was actually on my Halloween list of last year, and then I actually saw someone do it properly, and I was like, "Fuck that noise!" I was like, "I'll never look that cute."
Who did you see do it? Do you remember?
It was something online.
Oh, okay.
None of the bitches around here. Just kidding.
There's one that I saw that was decent. It was cute.
I mean, you got to admit
look
that
her
that melting face is kind of hard to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to do kind of a makeup, just a beauty
No, I
makeup.
mean, I would-
look.
I
You
did
can't-
a.
You can't do
I
prosthetics.
did a Freddy look a few years ago, and we used over-the-counter beauty project.
How'd you
Beauty
melt,
products for
how'd you
it.
melt your face?
It was through like
It was an illusion.
it was an illusion. We used like lip gloss and like lipstick,
We did like
and we blended it all together.
It sounds
It actually
really
looked pretty good. I'll
sounds-
post a picture of it.
sounds really pretty.
It was done all with like contour and highlight. Like it wasn't done with it. Yeah, it was all an
Feeling
illusion.
creative.
Yeah,
Come on, Natch.
it wasn't. There was no prosthetics at all. But that's how I roll.
I wish I can't wait to see this photo.
We'll
Maybe-
post
maybe
it
I'll-
one day.
We'll post a picture of it.
Maybe it'll revive my need to be a sexy prostitute Freddy Krueger in a dress with heels and a murdering glove.
Yeah, and I do love. I mean, there's some crusty ones, but there's some good drag Pennywise looks.
Yeah.
There's some
I mean,
good.
you mean
yeah.
Dragula?
Yeah, exactly.
Just kidding. Love you.
All the Dragula girls who we love. I
Uh-huh.
love a Dragula.
I'm gonna get my ass. I'm gonna get my ass whipped this weekend.
We love a spooky queen. Come on.
I live for those girls.
Yeah, they're amazing, and they're all welcome on the show.
Of course.
Come
I
on,
still have
movies
episodes
that
to
make
catch up on in the new season.
Well, there's 2 previous seasons of girls to get on here as well. So, we didn't even talk about the Fu Manchu Cheerios.
Yeah.
What is wrong with
Talk
us?
about a prop that you could never have in 2019.
Fu Manchus.
Whatever. I'm eating them right now.
That was the name. I would love to have a box of Fu Manchus. No,
Let's talk about the fact that he was green.
yeah. Why was he green? What the
Okay.
the mascot for Fu Manchus was weird.
I'm and of course, me being a superhero freak, I'm like, are they talking about the Mandarin? You know what I mean?
Is that from Iron Man?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The fail.
It's the whole thing was to set up that the prize inside was like
The fingernails.
the long fingernails. She should have just been eating a bag of bugles.
Do you think that like the
It's so funny. She'd be like, clank, clank,
Let
bitch.
Jesse have
Clank,
a
clank.
witch.
She's Go check out my drip, girl.
These fingernails just loose in this box of cereal.
Clack, clack, clack.
Oh my god.
What if they had like a character, or what if the mom was like super like sassy and cha-cha, and she came home and got like some really fierce acrylics, and she's like, "Do you like my manicure,
Clack,
Jesse?"
clack, clack, bitch.
Clack, clack, clack.
And you were noting that Jesse's mom's kind of slamming.
She's kind of
Like-
fierce. She's like she got her daytime heels on and
She
her
had a nice
V-necks
daytime pump.
and that sassy cut. Meanwhile, the dad is a total doucher.
The dad looked just like a grandpa.
He is unnecessary.
Yeah. The mom was cute. She had her cute V-neck. She
And
had
you
a
can
nice
kind of tell her
sensible pump.
face. She's like, "Why am I here?"
Yeah, for sure.
She's like, "Why can't Freddy kill me off in the first scene?"
Yeah, but I definitely feel like they should have played off like Lisa was trying to get her credit card out of the parking meter, and she's like, "Jesse, I can't get my credit card out. My
He's like-
nails, clack 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 clack."
What if that was like a huge trigger? Like the whole movie was him getting triggered and bawling
That's
and
what I'm-
screaming
that
over
was-
everyone's
yeah, and he
tails.
just started screaming.
Hey, Jesse, we're going to a drag show. No!
Well, the missed opportunity. That'll be in the remake of
I think we just
Nightmare
remade
2.
It's probably going to do better.
We can get Jackie Earle Haley on board to come back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who would be Jesse in the new Nightmare 2?
I mean, Garrett Clayton, obviously.
Ooh, I like it.
Who?
Garrett Clayton. Are you familiar with Garrett Clayton?
He's this little queen that
Please
was.
let me know, Gwen.
He was in the Teen Beach Party movie.
He was in Hairspray Live.
He was in King Cobra.
Okay.
Yeah, he was. What's his name in?
I think
was-
I think I'm arriving now.
He was
Yeah.
what's his name in King Cobra
Yeah.
with Kristen Slater.
I'm here for it.
There you
I'm
go.
here for it. I'm definitely here for it.
I love Garrett Clayton. Come on the show anytime.
You're welcome on. He's doing.
Come over anytime.
He's doing a drag Pennywise thing right now.
Yeah, he's doing Pennywise right now.
He's doing one of those unauthorized musicals.
Oh.
Because I feel like there's
Hollywood.
one like once every month in this city.
They have those a lot in Hollywood.
Like podcast.
Yeah, exactly. They're a dime a dozen.
Oh, so we need to talk about the PE scene.
Can we?
Oh my goodness.
Which one? Which one?
Oh my goodness.
So the opening PE scene,
Yes.
which I love in movies when there's a PE scene that there's just like 5 activities going on at once. Like Lisa's shooting a bow and arrow. They're playing.
yeah.
They're playing like softball, and
But there's
like,
archery, there's
archery,
softball,
football,
yeah.
softball.
They're running
all
laps.
just going on at once.
Well, I can explain that being a PE teacher. Well, there's girls PE coaches and boys PE coaches,
Yeah.
and they're probably just sharing the field.
Sure. Yeah.
Because, it's a beautiful day every day in Ohio.
This is true.
And it's 75 every day for the high.
Yeah, also true.
Uh-huh.
And we're also introduced to Ron,
Grady.
played by
Yeah.
Robert Russler.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Super sexy.
From Weird Science.
Fucking
Vamp.
my first hard-ons.
He still looks good. When we went to a screening of Screen Queens at Outfest, he was there and he still looks good.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. He is just so damn delicious.
I remember him
And-
from Weird Science.
And I loved him then. Loved
Yeah.
him. I loved him the most though in Vamp.
And Vamp, yeah.
I mean, I think he was just kind of everything in that
Yeah.
movie. But yeah, I loved his character. Just so damn
So,
sexy.
what I remember specifically as a kid is not understanding what a jockstrap was.
Why does that underwear have no back on
Why
it?
that underwear has no backside?
I remember when I learned what they were, and when I started 7th grade, we had to wear them in PE.
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And I didn't find them sexy at all back
No,
then.
not then. Not then. I
Well-
remember my introduction to jockstraps was this movie, and then a few years later in a little movie called Steel Magnolias.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, you get a
Is
good
that
locker
grape or
room.
aubergine?
Shut up!
Get a good locker room scene in that movie.
I'm like, show me that ass.
You're making
Damn
a
it.
fool out of yourself, Clary. Yeah, that scene. Is
Remember
amazing.
the shower scene from Best of Little Whorehouse in Texas?
Oh my goodness, that is too much.
Okay, we're way off topic.
Yeah.
But this brings us
I love a
back
jockstrap.
to Jesse's sweet ass
Yeah.
in the jockstrap.
Yes.
So they
Wrestling
end up,
on the ground
they end
with
up
Grady.
just wrestling on the ground, pants around the ankles.
Yeah.
Pants optional.
Jesse is definitely getting road rash on his ass.
Oh my god,
From,
he had to
like-
pick sticks out of that pussy
yeah,
forever.
Yeah, that looked uncomfortable.
And this is when we're first given the introduction of the PE teacher.
And
Coach
how
Schneider.
demented he
Coach
is.
Schneider.
Yeah.
Just riding
That
these
daddy.
kids hard. making them do like planking. Like, did you notice that when they were doing push-ups, they were just holding?
I
They're
thought
not
it was,
holding
Some of
the
that was because
position.
they were just talking, I think.
yeah, or else I thought it was because they had to do so many push-ups that they were just tired and they're just like, fuck it.
Well, and they wanted to talk, and they gave him the opportunity to explain to Jesse about the coach.
There you go. And to also work those glutes, just like hold that
Yeah.
pose.
I like the relationship in this movie because they start out that you think that they're gonna be like
Yeah.
Enemies.
enemies.
Yeah.
But then
like
they
Grady's gonna be his bully or something.
but then they just turn into best squirrel friends
yeah.
throughout
Yeah.
this movie.
He breaks into Grady's bedroom later on.
It's his only where to turn to.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I guess we'll get there when we get there. But there's just some parts of the script, like when he's in the room with Grady, and right before that in the cabana. But we'll talk.
But
a
I
little
kind
bit
of feel
more.
like, you know what? That scene that we're not supposed to skip to, but we
That's
are.
okay.
Grady's acting is way better than anyone else's. In the
Oh
movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he's more kind of living in the moment. I like that in the lunchroom scene, he does the whole entire scene with his mouth full.
Food in his mouth,
Because you can
yeah.
tell that actor probably just showed up and was just like, well, I got nothing to work with.
No direction.
I'll just
Yeah.
do this whole scene with food in my mouth.
it okay if I just do
think
it?
I think that'll be funny.
Well, I mean, come on. That's what an immature jockey high school guy
Yeah.
might do.
Exactly.
At least it's kind of adding something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then then Jesse gets Queen's out again.
Oh man.
What was it? Whatever, Grady.
What?
Shut up.
That's.
I was like, stop.
I didn't get that clip. But I wish I did. But that little line delivery is like the bitchiest.
Can you clip that and send that to me so I can just, that'd be like every time someone pisses me off, I'd be like,
Whatever, Grady.
We'll post a video of it and put it on our Instagram.
nice.
For sure. Yeah, but no, they do end up having a nice friendship, but it's all based on the fact that their PE teacher is a dick and just keeps giving them like push-ups because they keep calling them out and like,
By the end of the year with that coach, you're gonna be hot as fuck.
oh my god, I know they're gonna be all ripped because they keep getting push-ups. But I mean, this PE teacher, it's like, is he secretly like into S&M?
No, I don't think it's that secret because Grady said it. He goes, he's a pervert. He hangs out at local S&M bars.
Yeah.
He called it out. Yeah, that's your introduction. And
Yeah.
he's like, no way. He's like, yeah.
That's right.
Man, I want to see a whole movie of the story of this PE teacher.
I think, personally, I think they should have had more scenes with him and Grady together. I mean, of course I want that being the big old homo I am. But I'm just saying, like, that their friendship to me was just as anchored as the female.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and it was, if the movie was done, I think, and done the way it was supposed to be instead of being half-stepped,
Yeah.
it probably would have done that way.
Yeah, no, for sure. You're absolutely right. It's like they had to go with the romantic relationship.
Oh, you got to keep it straight.
Yeah. But at least with his relationship with Grady, it's like it had an arc.
Yeah.
Because it started
Yeah.
off antagonistic and then they became friends.
Well, with the girl, there was like, okay, how
Who
did
is
how,
she? Yeah.
how they even know each other?
Yeah.
But you know what's weird is that they almost introduce it that she's like, oh, he just gives me a ride to school.
Yeah.
Like she kind of thinks he's a loser, and then
Yeah.
she turns around real
Ready
quick.
for the dick.
Yeah.
Ready.
Yeah. 'Cause when she's talking to her, like, her sassy friend, vaguely ethnic
Oh, you mean
friend with
sort of
dark hair.
Latina,
Yeah.
sort of.
She wouldn't be Latina. She would be Italian.
You think
If
In
this
the-
would
in
be
an 80s
in Ohio?
Yeah.
In Ohio, though? I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, Latin in Ohio in the 80s.
That's
Who
even
knows?
weirder.
I'm like, okay, but she definitely filled that element of sassy lady.
She reminded me of Samantha's friend in 16 Candles.
Yeah.
Like, to the T.
Just cool.
maybe a little less dykey.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
definitely to the T.
Yeah, for sure. But she was just very much like a little bit more rocker, a little bit more edgy. Than
She's
our-
kind of like the weightlifter one in
in part 4.
part 4.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah,
The one that turns into a cockroach.
I kind of like the junkie in part 4 where
That-
Oh,
she's like,
Oh, yeah.
That scene
I'm bad.
with that cockroach, I think is one of the most fucking disgusting scenes ever
fucking
committed to
wrong.
film.
It's pretty gross.
It is so fucking gross.
Yeah. I used to rewind it.
Yeah.
I was fascinated by that cockroach.
I'll tell you what I used to rewind was that jockstrap
jockstrap.
scene. Yes. Oh my God! Stop! And I have to make up excuses to my brother why I'm doing that. I'm like, I think you can see something. Stop! Maybe it's a clue.
There's like a UFO in the background.
Meanwhile, my brother is like just eye rolling as hard as he can.
You're just looking
Going,
at butts.
Yeah, he's like, you homo.
Yeah, I mean, they really had any excuse to get Jesse without clothes, and that kind of makes me feel like if it was a girl in that role, anytime we saw Nancy in pajamas, Nancy would wear full pajamas, like bottoms,
Well,
a
it was
top.
pretty sheer, that little white number.
Yeah, true.
I mean, she got in and out of the bathtub a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah,
kind of did see a little boob in the
I
bathtub.
mean,
That's true.
you
You're
know,
right. You're right.
not much.
Yeah.
You know, Johnny Depp. Oh no.
He had his little half shirt.
Johnny Depp in that little crop top.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the sex scenes from other movies that we know.
Hey, it counts. It's all part of the Nightmare family.
Yes. Okay, so Jesse and the jockstrap are moving along
Goodness. Oh my goodness.
to
So we should
S&M
probably
coach.
we should probably just cut right to Jesse sleepwalking,
Sure.
wandering
Which
out of his
time?
house at night
Yeah.
when he goes to the bar.
Yes,
Barefoot in the rain
drenched and dripping.
to an S&M bar.
A very
I'm
female
curious-
heavy.
Yes.
I'm curious where this bar is.
Did you say Fontana?
I read on IMDb for shooting locations a bar in Fontana, so maybe.
They're like, excuse us, we're taking over tonight. We're going to invite all the freaks from Hollywood in and bring leather or leather-esque attire, please.
God.
And heavy on the esque.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen this casting call when they got all of these people there.
Basically, Friday's at Precinct. Please come over.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, there's like punk and rocker chicks there too.
Yeah, I mean, which for an S&M bar, I could see it, but I just remember, maybe it's just because where I took it in my head.
Yeah.
How when they, about him being like leather daddy.
Yeah.
Because it sounded more salacious to me, or it felt more salacious to me than just some straight dude that's into S&M. But I don't think there's anything straight about him.
No.
He was definitely gonna pound down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Miss Jessie.
Yeah. So let's just to break it down. Jesse walks into the bar and says, "I'll have a beer," and the bartender gives him a beer.
Played by Bob Shea,
Yes,
executive at New Line, who
Robert
greenlit
Shea
the
from
movie.
New Line.
looking.
That is the guy who greenlit Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
If you can really wrap your mind around that.
I'm still stuck on his beautiful V dress with the cuff
Oh my goodness.
and the lipstick. But
So let's say he's a high school gym teacher, but in his normal life he's like into S&M. He goes to this bar at night, but he keeps everything separate, and he sees a student there. Okay.
instead of running for his life,
Yeah, he doesn't turn around and say, "Oh fuck, I gotta hide." But the student is ordering a drink, and he knows Jesse's underage, so he's like,
like,
So
why,
what
at
is-
16,
what's his
why would you be?
motivation?
I wouldn't be afraid of getting in trouble for having a beer.
Yeah.
He should be worried that his little S&M bar is going to get in trouble.
Right?
Yeah, for serving a beer. But it's like, is the teacher saying, "Okay, kid, you're underage drinking this beer. I'm not going to turn you in."
No,
Now
he's
you're gonna go
saying-
run laps?
He's saying, "Okay, you're in the fucking gay bar."
Yeah,
And I'm going to tell everyone you're a homo.
exactly.
Probably, or he's going to Jesse at that point is kind of catatonic.
Yeah,
And he's probably just drug him easy prey. I don't know.
yeah.
It's
I
just-
feel like he should have.
the creep factor was definitely present.
Yeah, it's confusing. He wouldn't have taken him back to school to run laps. He would have taken him back to his apartment.
Well, he's wearing him down, but
Yeah.
but his school's where he feels his power.
There you go.
As a dominator or
There you go. Okay.
Whatever.
All right. I see it. It's his dungeon,
It is.
and it's where he meets his undoing.
I mean,
in the
I can think of a
shower.
lot of asshole PE coaches that I could just picture it.
and they weren't even S&M people.
They were more like M&Ms.
This scene where he gets killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, would that kill you?
Yeah, no, I didn't think that either. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna hurt like hell, and you're gonna unless you just bleed out over
Yeah,
time.
So-
but
Remind me, this is Freddy doing this. But when you see it,
it's Jesse.
no,
doing
it's
it.
Jesse doing. But how it's shot
Yes.
is that it's like the Invisible Man.
Yeah, you don't see anybody doing
You
it.
don't see anybody doing it.
Yeah, the towels are flying in.
Smacking him on the ass.
Yeah,
That was hot.
yeah, tied up with jump ropes tied to the shower nozzles, and yeah, the
It's kind of cool how they shot that scene of all of the PE equipment flying at him.
see now
That they probably spent more money doing that than they
Yeah.
did paying an actor.
that actor went on to work with Paul Verhoeven. He's in
He's in tons of shit in the 80s.
yeah,
He's in Total
He's
Recall.
in Total Recall and Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why he's part of Verhoeven's like little troupe.
Stock company.
Yeah. So the thing is, we kind of see Freddy there, but it's implied that Jesse actually did it.
Yeah.
Well, it's implied, or it's implied, that he was part of it.
Yeah. And this is where Jesse starts saying things like, there's something inside of me. There's someone inside of me. Someone wants to be inside of me. I mean, this kind of language.
Of course they do. Of course they do. You're blonde and you got a nice ass.
Yeah.
And this is when everyone that's on set is reading the script for the day, and they're just like, he wants to be inside me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I have a few
picture Robert
follow-up
Englund.
questions.
Yeah.
I picture Robert Englund over in the corner just laughing.
Yeah, seriously, he knows what's going on. Okay. Lisa's having a party, which we think may be a birthday party.
Possibly.
Because there's
Or
a cake.
Possibly her coming out debutante ball. I
White
don't
girl,
know.
white girl quinceañera.
Yeah, exactly. But Jesse goes begrudgingly. Grady's grounded, so he can't go.
Was he really grounded? He said I didn't understand that scene.
It sounded like he said, I pushed my grandma down the stairs.
It did, and I was like, what?
But, I mean, obviously he didn't do that. But he didn't go. Maybe he just didn't want to. But I just assumed he actually was grounded.
Well, he obviously knew what was going on. I guess they all kind of live in the same little
Yeah.
neighborhood,
Sure.
more or less.
But, I mean, it was a big party
Yeah.
at Lisa's mansion.
This pool setup's pretty cool.
Yeah, the pool is nuts. It's
That
like
cabana, man. All of the activities that could happen in that cabana room.
there's a full-on pool house.
I'm activating right now.
Just
kidding.
I'm eating Activia. Makes you poop. So, okay.
The future's bright.
There's a scene in the pool house with Jesse and Lisa.
Uh-huh.
And if you listen to the dialogue, but imagine the roles reversed, with Jesse's character being a female character and Lisa's character being a male character.
because she's like coming on to him.
But not only that,
No kidding, faggot.
Yeah.
yeah. But not only that. Well, let's listen.
I want to help you.
How can you help me? What are you gonna do for me? Look, I feel like I'm losing my mind. And I don't want you to watch me fall apart. I'm afraid to go to sleep. I'm afraid to stay awake. I'm ruining your party. They're gonna take me away.
Come on, don't say that. Listen, we'll stay up all night if we have to. I'm not going to let anything happen to you.
She's like the protector.
She's playing the role of the
Protector
boyfriend.
was
Yeah.
not exactly what I was thinking. But I was thinking she is selling that puss to that gay boy.
She's really
No, you know what? She's
not taking the hint.
Or I think she sees it more than he does, and she's gonna change those ways.
I was gonna say she just thinks that he hasn't found the right girl.
Isn't that what they always think?
Well, how would you know unless you've tried it?
You don't know me.
So yeah, I just feel like the dialogue is so weird in this
Yeah.
movie.
It went from like gallant to creepy and like in the
Yeah.
same sentence to me.
Yeah. Also,
And she, I'll stay with you. Okay.
yeah.
I'll stay up all night if I have to.
I won't let anything happen to you. But that's when he just. Well, they do start making out, and he gets the like Freddy dildo in his mouth.
You think that tongue of death?
And it almost looks like he's going to eat her out.
Well, to me, it was like I was a little confused because I feel like, Freddy's coming around like when he's kind of feeling a little homo-y.
Sure.
But this time he's opposite of that. You think Freddy would have, maybe Freddy would have let him have this one.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just about him caring about something, or just Freddy just wanting to fuck him all the damn time period. I don't know. Or maybe Freddy just wanted a piece himself. Who knows? I was like, yeah. I'm needless to say, I'm glad they didn't fuck.
Maybe in that scene it was Jesse understanding that he wasn't into it, and he really wished it was Grady. So that's why Freddy was like,
you know what? Maybe you are right.
Yeah.
And then he goes right to Grady's bedroom after.
Yes.
Where are you gonna go? You're gonna go find that dick.
Yeah, he pretty much breaks into Grady's house.
We were dissecting everything that Grady had in his bedroom, and
Dreaming that it was ours.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid just saying, when I get older, I'm gonna have a room just like that.
Yeah.
He has like a leather love seat in his room that probably cost like $2,000 in the 80s.
Right. It was beautiful, like designer, Italian designer.
What was his posters on the wall?
It's covered in
But
posters.
the guy from Kajagoogoo,
The never-ending story guy.
Lamal.
Lamal.
Like who? What American male?
Has a Lamal.
What heterosexual American male?
Yeah.
Had Lamal. I mean, maybe if you're a European boy growing up.
Yeah.
But
This pretty Euro trash guy.
Yeah. Then he also had
Tina Turner.
Yeah, in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had Power Station.
Yeah.
And then he had some metal band I saw.
Yeah.
Which looked kind of delicate. It didn't look like it looked like gay boy metal band, but
yeah.
Or Hollywood. I'm trying to think of the name.
His bed.
King Cobra.
King Cobra. Yeah.
His bed sheets and cover were also pretty cool.
Like satin or something.
I can remember asking my mom for ones like his.
Oh my god.
That geometric pattern.
She told me to get a job. I was 7. It's okay.
He had great wallpaper.
Yes.
Super 80s wallpaper.
Where would you even buy wallpaper like that in Ohio?
I don't even know. Builder's Emporium, if they had that. That was before Home Depot. For sure.
It was before everything.
Yeah.
But it was just elegant and 80s as hell.
It was a great room. And a lot of the posters were at an angle. Like he was
stylish.
Yeah.
Every stylistic money was spent on Grady's room.
Yes. Because it wasn't on Jesse's room.
It sure wasn't on Jesse's house.
Yeah.
God, those farmer hunting pictures.
That house was very booger. Thrift store. Yeah, super booger. But this scene led us to this great moment.
I want to help you.
Not that moment. I heard that one already. This one.
There's something inside of me. And last night it made me go to my sister's room.
Ew.
And tonight with Lisa on the cabana, it started to happen again.
I think you are seriously losing it, bro.
I'm scared, Grady. Something is trying to get inside my body.
Yeah, and she's female and she's waiting for you in the cabana. And you want to sleep with me.
Ooh.
No kidding.
Wow.
That's when we need our other thing that says, whatever, Grady.
Whatever, Grady.
You guys notice that without seeing it, he does it. Hearing him doesn't sound near as horrible as seeing and hearing him.
Yeah.
Because you get that strained face of him going.
Just a very prissy face.
Oh, she was letting us have it.
Yes, indeed. But this is when Freddy emerges from Jesse's body.
Yeah.
From within the depths of Jesse's abdomen.
Wearing that bitch like a jacket.
Yeah. So gross.
Literally wearing him like a jacket.
Yeah.
He threw him off
like a coat.
Shrugged him to the floor.
Like Aretha would walking out on stage with her furs. Just done with this.
All I'm picturing is arms. Sagging arms.
Oh, man.
Stop.
But yeah, and then he just straight up kills Grady.
Yeah.
Bye, girl.
Bye, girl, bye.
It was sad. I'm like, why you gotta kill such hot ass?
So did Grady see Jesse or did Grady see Freddy?
That's what
I think.
That's the question.
I want to say that Grady saw Freddy, but that said, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I feel like he would have pled for his life if he would have saw.
If it was Jesse.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of being so fucking horrified.
Yeah, he was screaming what the fuck.
So do you think that when Freddy attacks
the party,
they can see
No, I think they see
Jesse
Freddy.
or Freddy. Okay.
Because nobody says Jesse,
And
and
this
that
is-
one guy's like, "Hey, man," like,
So yeah, so he literally turns into Freddy
Yeah.
at this scene.
Because I think they would have addressed him as Jesse.
yeah, I think
Jesse, why are you doing this?
Yeah, the
Jesse.
other kids.
And I think people would have been braver to fight him.
yeah,
Like, if one of my fucking kids I went to school with started trying to attack, but I'd knock the shit
yeah.
out
I
of him.
think enough people at the
Or at
party
least
would be
I'd
like,
try.
"What the fuck?" and try.
It
Yeah,
was gang up on him.
yeah. I think they saw Freddy, and this is where it gets non-nightmare canon because Freddy
Yeah.
doesn't do this kind of shit. Freddy comes after you in your dream. That's the
May I
idea.
also let everyone know that this movie had the highest kill count of any of them.
Because of that damn party.
That damn party.
It had to
My
be.
favorite's when they step on the dude's neck trying to get over the fence.
I forgot about
There's
that.
people
Crack.
boiling in the
Yeah.
pool.
Yes.
Yeah, they're trampling.
And meanwhile,
people.
they're boiling, but they're not making a whole lot of effort to get out.
No, yeah, they're just still frolicking. Like,
They're like jumping in that pool. Did you notice that?
Yeah, jump in that pool that's
Yeah.
steaming, girl. Stick. Ignorant.
idiot kids.
I know.
And they couldn't have been very drunk. The parents were out there like the entire party.
Why would you not ran to the house?
Yeah.
Oh, we were obsessed with the parents when watching it.
They're so sexy.
The mom's
Yeah.
down to fuck. She was wearing this like Morgan Fairchild like jumpsuit.
A totally baby pink jumpsuit with
Yeah.
a white leather belt, with her loose perm, red-headed hair.
And-
At least the mom and daughter have matching
Yeah,
hair.
they had to match the
that
mom
was
to Lisa.
that was definitely some planning for
that
the
was
show.
a choice somewhere.
And the dad's like this, kind of butch, kind of like office dad, giving real dad bod.
yeah.
And the mom pretty much is offering blowjobs to get him to leave the party, let her
Yeah.
daughter have fun. And, so the dad finally gets it and goes upstairs
Yep.
and still worries about the party. So mom must not be doing it right.
No. Weren't they watching a movie or
Send
something?
Jesse up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesse would have put him right to bed.
Oh, right to head.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean this party's insane. But Jesse ends up murdering.
Is it weird that I
5
still kind of want to
kids?
go to this party?
It looked fun. Well,
Then she has to make her way to access chemicals. Or
oh man, she's
where-
gonna turn into the Joker.
So
That
I mean,
would have been a good plot
so
point.
I take it this is where Freddy lived.
She
had
said
his
that's where he
hideout?
That's where he got
worked.
murdered.
Oh, he
Yeah,
worked?
and so they tracked him down and murdered him there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm recalling other movies where they actually showed it.
Yeah,
Where they surrounded them, set him on fire in there.
yeah, yeah.
And in the reboot in 2010,
It's there.
they have a lot of sequences there, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and that movie is harsh.
Yeah, it's intense.
I was like,
Yeah.
this is not my 80s Freddy. Fuck. Where's the
just like-
humor? He just was going to fuck the
You're
kids.
just
and
like grasping your pearls.
he's like, fucking kids and killing people. And I'm like, no. He's like, remember me.
He doesn't even crack any.
You were my
jokes.
number one.
Oh yeah, he does say that. To
And I'm
her.
like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and she's like, you're like, you were my go-to girl. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's dark.
Talk about a movie that Rooney Mara probably doesn't like to get asked about.
Talk
anymore.
about a therapy needed
Yeah, seriously.
movie. Fuck.
I want. I want.
Poor Kate Cassidy.
I know.
She remembers herself as a little girl with the fucking claw marks on her dress.
No-
All right.
Nobody turned into like a comic book character and got like shredded to paper.
No one got their like.
No, they didn't do that.
No one got like
They-
their head bashed in with the TV.
No, they just
saying,
got their guts
"Welcome
ripped
to-
out.
Welcome
Yeah.
to primetime, bitch.
No, there was no quips, just
Oh,
fucking
man.
murder.
Well, this movie ends in this weird ass boiler.
Yeah.
Oh, the baby dog face.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dog devils.
I can't believe I forgot that
Yeah.
shit.
And that's weird because it's like, who is possessing these dogs? It's like,
yeah.
like how do they exist?
And are they twins? Is it just generic babies? Do they have some meaning?
Yeah, it's not like anybody's face that was killed.
And then a cat had, or a rat or a cat later had one.
well, there was the rat, but then a cat jumped on the
And-
rat,
and
but
had
they both had close-ups.
But the cat
And
had
it
a kind of a
and
Freddy
a
looking
weird
face.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it, I think that it would have been cool if they would have had like Robert Englund's face pre boiler room.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
That
think
would have
they
been kind of cool.
Yeah, I think they should have done a little bit of.
Instead of
He was the bus driver in the very first in the
Well,
dream
yeah,
sequence.
he had that nice mullet.
He had that cute hair.
It was cute.
Yeah, but I mean, he should have been somewhere else in this movie,
You've got the body.
especially because we went back to the actual place of the lynching or whatever.
I would have thought I kind of feel like they could have done more there. That could have been like a fucking, they could have had flashback scenes there.
Yes.
They could have, like he could have, since she keeps referring to Jesse as psychic.
Yeah.
They could have had some like flashback scenes of when Freddy was getting burnt.
I mean, maybe in the original script there was, and they just couldn't.
Would it be cool to
Yeah.
They
see
just
that?
couldn't film it. Because
Couldn't afford to film it.
they're probably
Yeah.
just behind in the budget, and they had to wrap this shit up.
They went on.
Well, let's talk about that one scene where they're the helicopter scene. Where the long shot.
Yeah, that crane shot is crazy.
I'm like, why did we need that? It's
Yeah.
beautiful, but there goes the whole daily budget.
Yeah,
there.
it was the best looking shot of the movie.
It was not.
Yeah.
It was like a real nice
Yeah.
movie shot.
We were like, is it a helicopter? Is it a crane? Like, who knows? But it looked like a real movie.
It's like somebody came by and donated $1,000 to rent a crane for the day.
for the afternoon, and they're like, okay, we got to hurry this up. We only have this for 20 minutes. But
Pre GoFundMe.
yeah, but like, yeah, so Freddy is like messing with her mind because like her weird bite, she feels like there's like ants crawling in it. Then like
He's trying to keep her away.
yeah.
Because true love is going to win.
Yes.
Because that's what's going to save his
Which ultimately
sexuality and soul and life. Nothing like send a girl to save it all.
Yeah, it was like the prep of like this movie.
Yeah,
The love of a woman.
The love of a underlined woman.
Yeah, I mean, because ultimately, what does she do that like defeats Freddy?
She didn't even suck his dick.
She didn't do shit. She's just like,
She's fresh faced.
stop being Freddy. Yeah, she showed up.
His love of her, I guess the love of a good fag hag will
Yeah,
save
Will
save
your
the day.
soul.
Yep.
And they get out, and she thinks they're going to get together, and all of a sudden he's like, girl, let's go to that S&M bar.
I found this really great bar.
now the coach is gone, we can rain.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. She, I guess, just professing her love to him, and Jesse.
She kisses Freddy.
She does kiss Freddy with the full Freddy beat.
Yep. And Freddy has the claws right ready to stab her too, and he doesn't do it.
He doesn't do it.
And when she kisses Freddy, like Beauty and the Beast,
Yeah.
Wasn't one
he
of his
turns
sores
back into a boy.
Didn't one of his sores like talk? And
It was
Jesse-
weird, yeah. She could hear Jesse from within, like
within his pockmarks.
now Jesse's inside of Freddy. They're like flipping.
Flipping. I have a feeling that Jesse's learning about that in this movie.
Jesse's verse
Yeah.
now.
He's
Aren't we all?
now he's inside Freddy, and like his voice
And
is
he's
coming
living
out.
for it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit, this is tight.
He cannot handle it.
He's gonna bust any minute. He wasn't prepared for all this,
Oh my goodness.
and he does. He literally busts out of
Freddy
rotted carcass.
bursts into flames, and Jesse's underneath like the
burnt carcass.
The burnt carcass. And
What
they
a
live
way to go!
happily ever
What
after.
a way to blow! I mean, what a way to go!
Yeah, it's just the next day, Jesse's just like,
They go back to normal.
I'm all good.
He gets on that school bus.
Yeah,
His arms are wrapped up, because he's
Yeah.
a little smoldered.
I guess.
But
So this strikes me as the type of ending that whatever they had shot wasn't usable, so they just had to cut.
Let's
they just
put him
had
back
to-
on the bus.
They just had to cut their way out of this ending. That we're just gonna cut to the B-roll of the bus in the desert being driven away by Freddy.
my thing is like, poor Grady, fuck his drag.
Yeah, right?
Like,
Yeah.
Like, okay, is
Yeah.
no one going to the funerals?
Yeah.
How many? Cut to that.
Poor
How many
guy.
people died and
Cut to
Jesse's...
the fact that Jesse's getting fucking accused of murder.
Yeah. He was in the room.
All of them.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm sure the girl, she's, you didn't do it.
No, yeah, no. He was with me in the cabana. I was blowing him.
She's like, there he is.
Here's your DNA.
Here's your proof. It's dripping down my leg. Just kidding. He's gay, damn it.
Poor Grady. Fuck his drag.
I know. Fuck my funeral,
Go
girl.
up in your bus. So, yeah, the endings of these movies are always a little bit ambiguous as far as, is it real? Is it a dream? Are they dead? Who knows?
Yeah.
Honestly, who cares?
Yeah, seriously.
It's like,
I feel like that was probably the attitude when they made all of the endings too.
And I think the actors are right there with it.
Yeah.
My only sad, they killed the Latin girl, of course, instead.
Yeah.
But, but I wonder also for sure whose POV it was.
Yes.
Was maybe the redhead girl's dreaming.
Yeah.
now.
Whose dream is this? Yeah. Maybe. Oh, that's true. Maybe it could be her dream.
It's funny. I refuse to say her name. It's so horrible.
It's forgettable. It's Lisa.
Bonk.
So yeah, and then after this movie, the sequels just kind of get rebooted.
Yeah.
Well, they get more money.
They
get more money.
Clearly, they do.
write Nancy back in, and you can definitely tell they were working with a higher budget.
Yeah.
And it's more of a
fleshed out
of a traditional fleshed out sequel to the first movie.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, and I mean, you gotta admit, 3 is pretty fucking incredible.
Yeah. 3 is my favorite of the sequels.
I mean, it's cheesy as fuck still, but it's still fucking incredibly cheesy and awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to be locked in a room with two of them, it would be 1 and 3.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that
agree.
Patricia Arquette is really good.
That was like her first movie.
In
wasn't
Dream
it?
Warriors.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer that she didn't come back for Never Sleep Again.
Oh well.
I hope that she rememers that movie fondly.
Yeah.
I think she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get the iconic Kristen's mom, Andale.
Didn't I hear something where something when they kept doing the primetime bitch, something weird happened. Like she got hurt or something. I can't remember. There was a story. We need to look it up. There's a story there.
There's a story there.
Someday.
We'll eventually get to Dream Warriors.
I think we'll
on
do a
this
couple
podcast.
more.
Well,
Nightmare
I'm
movies
telling
on
you,
the
I want to come back and do Never Too Young to Die with you guys.
Yes.
That will be a day we will wear heels while we do our talking.
I'm down.
And listen to Kiss.
So I did reference the documentary in this, but to kind of give a proper shout out to the movie that we saw at Outfest when it was here this summer. It's called Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's just a documentary that follows Mark Patton going to cons and kind of it really examines the homoerotic subtext of the movie.
Yeah.
And who's kind of responsible for it. Mark really goes into how this movie did kind of derail his career too.
Yeah.
That it's not quite where he wanted to end up as an actor, and he just sort of found himself in it.
Well, it's still his choice. He still chose to be in the movie, and he still chose to be a part of it. I don't, I can understand his, point of view on it, and maybe I need to watch the thing. Maybe it'll convince me a little more. But I still think I don't think Girl had a lot of choices in 1985 rolling at it.
Yeah.
And I would have taken that movie. I would have taken that movie like that.
Oh, easy.
He's been his stance on it was I was just acting the role that was given to me.
Right, and then this I'll ride with him on.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was no clear direction in this movie.
Yeah.
And no one. I feel like these kids are just let to run along.
Yeah.
Read your script. We're filming you. Okay, great. Can you act a little less Queenie, or can you grab our tits a little harder? I don't think there was a whole lot being said because everything felt so awkward at most of the time.
Yeah, you're right.
That little girl, I'm thinking of awkward. The little girl, the bird's dying and blowing up, and she's just kind of making a smirk, like,
yeah, she's not really reacting to any of that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, come on, guys.
Well, if you're looking for that movie, it's called Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street. It's directed by Tyler Jensen and Roman Chimienti. We saw it at Outfest. It's probably still on the festival circuit now.
It's working the festival circuit right now. You can follow Tyler on Facebook and Instagram. He posts all around where they're touring it right now.
Yeah.
So it's not on iTunes yet?
Not
yet.
Not yet. Bryn, this was really fun.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Coming
really
on.
Cool.
And as stupid as this movie is, it's not like we're talking about like Freddy's dead.
Let's pretend we don't love stupid shit.
But it's
like,
but it's
I love
like,
this movie. First of all, I love this movie. As stupid as it is, and even if I think there might have been some nefarious output of, even though they're giving a gay movie, I don't know if it was a positive gay movie.
Right.
I don't care. It's still fucking funny. I still love it.
It's fun. It's something interesting and kind of oddly groundbreaking to be talking about this
we're-
movie
no,
33 years
you know,
later.
and
Yeah.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
And also, you know, it is kind of a movie that made us gay.
Yeah,
Definitely.
for sure. Contributed a lot.
It definitely contributed a little.
Well, why don't you talk a little bit about your company and where we
Well,
can find you?
I make a lot of really interesting T-shirts, pants, jock straps.
I have many things in my closet.
I
Horse
make,
and horn.
you know, I make clothes for queers, and
I have the
and
daddy swim brief.
Awesome.
and you're not wearing it now. How,
I'm not wearing it now.
how
I should be.
disrespectful. Anyway, no, I like to make clothes for queer people, and you know what? If your straight friend wants to buy it, great. You know, I kind of come from the point of view of, you know, I worked for a clothing company even though it was alternative for 16 years, but you know, we marketed to straight people always.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, you know what? I'm marketing to gay people, and if straight people want to buy it, then hooray.
Right.
You know, if
Give
not,
me your money.
you know, I'll take your money, but you know, keep in mind you're wearing a shirt that says "Daddy Young."
Right.
You know, I come from a background of, you know, alternative fetish clothing,
Yeah.
and you know, obviously you can see those, you know, reflections in what I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I just like to make fucking cute shit, fun, smart ass, dirty, but with a
Loud and proud.
with a
It always wears its message.
but
on its
definitely
shoulder.
with a fashion point of view. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
you know, I'm not trying to come off like, you know, mall statement-y,
Yeah.
but you know,
It's always really fun of your clothes of how it plays with labels and kind of a subtext with it.
Yeah.
that comes from growing
Yeah.
up in a rave era.
I love that.
Sure.
You know, I mean, that this is my first impressions of rave clothing. You know, I remember the classic Tide box that was turned into rave
Yep.
instead of Tide,
Yep.
and that always resonated with me. And you know, a lot of influencers in my life kind of love that juxtaposition too. You know, so it definitely plays me. I'm gonna slowly do other things, but you know, why break it if it's not?
Yeah.
You know, why break something that's going well? But
Yeah.
you know, I've got new stuff coming in the horizons that have no statements.
Cool.
You know, like a big flaming tribal inked cock coming out next month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You know, referencing 90s bad tattoo gay art. You know,
love it, yeah.
Every gay man had some tribal tattoo back then.
Yeah, it's true.
I
It's
don't
true.
know. I love it now more than I did then. Then I was like, ew.
Well, where can we find your clothing? You have a website? What
The
can we
website,
do?
I do sell to Rough Trade Gear. They
Oh, cool.
buy a little bit of it, but if you want to see it in all of its glory, you would go to shophorseandhorn.com.
Awesome.
Your models are very sexy.
And let me say shophorseandhorn.com. No, they are fucking sexy. I use real boys that I know. Boys that I hang out with, boys that I see in the club, boys that, you know.
Oh yeah, you could go into like Precinct on a Friday or Saturday night and see most of those guys.
Yeah.
I know. I find beautiful boys, and they model beautifully for me. I like every type of guy. You know, on a personal level, like I like all types of guys.
Yeah.
I find them all sexy. You know what I mean? It's something about most guys I find sexy. You know, and I want my website to reflect that. I want any type of guy to feel like they could wear anything that I offer. You know. I would, you know, that's definitely a goal of mine. You know, I'm a big guy myself, so you know,
That's really great. That's
Yeah.
like a really great like message and like philosophy. So I love it.
well, thank you. I
love
love it. I love being here.
And
It's
you
fun.
have pop-up shops at Precinct in downtown LA a lot too.
I do. I think I will be actually. I think I'm going to be at the Eagle in November. I post I post on my Instagram, which is, you know, @horse and horn, where I'm going to be usually a week in advance. I'm going to try to do that one, and I'm going to try to do one at Precinct in November as well.
Awesome. All right. Well, we are going to take a quick break right now so that I can talk directly to the listeners. That is right, everybody. It's time for our very first sponsored break. If you like what you've been hearing about Horse and Horn clothing and you want to grab some items with a distinct queer sensibility for yourself, you can head over to www.shophorseandhorn.com now through November 15th to get 20% off your order when you use offer code MOVIES. Horse and Horn has a really awesome selection of graphic tees, pants, shorts, swimwear, jocks, everything your little queer heart desires. Thank you, Bryn, for the offer code. It's so awesome. Once again, that's www.shophorseandhorn.com now through November 15th and get 20% off your order with offer code MOVIES. Back to the show. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on the show. This was great.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
This was a lot of fun. Everybody out there, go out and go to the Horse and Horn website. Check them out on Instagram. And while you're on the gram, follow Movies That Made Us Gay. You can also follow us on Facebook. Same thing, at Movies That Made Us Gay. And don't forget, we would love it if you would subscribe and rate our podcast.
Give us 5 stars.
Give us 5 stars.
You better give those 5 stars.
And write us a good review, only if you like it. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back next week with another great episode. Bye.
Bye.